Sometimes love finds you in the most unexpected places. As I reflect on my story, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you enjoy this journey as much as I enjoyed living it. My name is Charlotte, and I never imagined I would find love at work. At 28, I had recently emerged from a long and complicated relationship that left me feeling drained and uncertain about the future. My ex-boyfriend had been toxic, constantly belittling me and making me feel unworthy. It took a lot of strength to finally walk away, but I was ready to start fresh. Ethan, my boss, was a man of 60, a distinguished presence with silver hair and deep-set eyes that seemed to hold a lifetime of wisdom. He had always been kind to me, offering support when I needed it most. I admired his dedication to his work and the way he treated everyone with respect. But I never thought of him in a romantic way until that fateful day. It was a gloomy afternoon, and I was stocking shelves in the store when I felt the familiar sting of tears. I had just received a reminder of my past, and it hit me hard. I didn't notice Ethan walking in until he was right beside me. "Charlotte, are you okay?" His voice was calm, yet filled with concern. I tried to brush it off, but he saw through my facade. I found myself opening up to him, sharing the pain I had been carrying. He listened intently, offering words of comfort that I desperately needed. We stood there, surrounded by boxes and shelves, and for the first time, I felt a connection that went beyond the professional. After that day, something shifted between us. I couldn't shake the feeling that our bond was growing deeper. Ethan was always there, checking in on me, making me laugh, and reminding me that I was more than my past. I began to look forward to our conversations, lingering a little longer in his office, finding reasons to be near him. But as my feelings intensified, so did my doubts. What would people say? A 28-year-old woman in a relationship with a man nearly twice her age? I questioned whether our age difference would be a barrier. Yet, every time I was near Ethan, those worries faded. There was something undeniably warm and comforting about him, something that made me feel safe. As days turned into weeks, I found myself drawn to him in ways I couldn't ignore. The moments we spent together were filled with laughter and unspoken tension. I noticed the way his eyes lingered on me during meetings, how his hand brushed against mine when he passed me a document. Each touch ignited a spark within me, and I couldn't help but wonder if he felt it too. One evening, after a particularly long day at work, we ended up in his office, just the two of us. The air was thick with unspoken words, and I could feel my heart racing. Ethan looked at me, a mixture of desire and caution in his gaze. "Charlotte," he said softly, "there's something about you that I just can't resist." I stepped closer, my breath hitching as I felt the warmth radiating from him. The room felt charged, electric. It was as if we were the only two people in the world, and nothing else mattered. I knew our relationship was unconventional, but I also knew that love doesn't follow the rules. In that instant, I decided to embrace what was blossoming between us, regardless of what others might think. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of a journey that would change my life forever. In the weeks that followed our first heartfelt conversation, I found myself drawn to Ethan in ways I never expected. Each day at the office, his kind smile and gentle demeanor made my heart flutter. It was as if he could see the scars of my past, the remnants of my toxic relationship that left me feeling broken and unsure. He had always been there, a steady presence in the chaos of my life. I started to look forward to our chats, the way he listened without judgment, offering me solace. It felt safe with him. One afternoon, after a particularly long day, I found myself in his office. The door was closed, and the atmosphere was charged. We talked about work at first, but soon the conversation drifted to more personal topics. I shared my fears about love, about the age gap. I hesitated, wondering if I was making a mistake. "Charlotte," he said softly, his blue eyes piercing through my doubts, "age is just a number. What matters is how we feel about each other." His sincerity wrapped around me like a warm blanket, easing my anxieties. That evening, I left the office with a lightness in my heart. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was changing between us. We began spending more time together, sharing lunches and lingering in conversation. Each moment together deepened my feelings, and I realized how much I craved his presence. One weekend, Ethan invited me to his home for dinner. I arrived, nervous yet excited, and was welcomed by the warmth of his space. The air was thick with laughter and playful banter. I felt a connection that transcended our age difference, a bond that was both exhilarating and terrifying. After dinner, we moved to the living room, and I could feel the tension building. He reached for my hand, our fingers intertwining. It was a simple gesture, but it ignited a fire within me that I had long thought extinguished. We talked for hours, our conversations flowing freely, revealing our hopes and fears. As the night wore on, I found myself leaning closer, drawn to him like a moth to a flame. Ethan's gaze lingered on my lips, and I knew we were teetering on the edge of something profound. In that moment, all my doubts faded away. I wanted him, and I could sense that he wanted me too. The intimacy of the moment was palpable as our lips finally met. It was gentle at first, a soft exploration that quickly turned into something more passionate. I felt alive, each kiss igniting a spark I had almost forgotten. We moved to his bedroom, the world outside fading away. In that space, we discovered each other in ways that were both tender and exhilarating. It was as if we were shedding the weight of our pasts, embracing the possibility of a future together. I knew then that love had found me in the most unexpected place, and I was ready to embrace it fully. As I lay there, wrapped in his arms, I couldn't help but think about the journey ahead. The road wouldn't be easy, but for the first time in a long time, I felt hope. I accepted that love knows no boundaries, and I was ready to see where this path would lead us. As the days turned into weeks, my relationship with Ethan blossomed into an extraordinary connection. We navigated our new romance with a mix of excitement and caution, both aware of the challenges that lay ahead. Yet, every moment spent together felt like a beautiful escape from the shadows of my past. Our mornings started with soft conversations over coffee, and our evenings were filled with laughter and shared dreams. I found myself falling deeper for him, not just for his kindness, but for the way he made me feel cherished, valued, and alive. The age difference that once loomed large began to fade into the background, overshadowed by the depth of our connection. One evening, as we sat on his porch watching the sunset, I turned to him. "Ethan, do you ever think about what people might say about us?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He looked at me thoughtfully. "Charlotte, let them talk. What matters is what we have. We can't let others dictate our happiness." His words resonated deeply, and I felt a surge of gratitude for his unwavering support. I realized that our love was worth fighting for, regardless of the opinions of others. We were two souls who had found solace in each other, and that was enough. As the summer unfolded, we embarked on adventures together. From spontaneous road trips to quiet nights in, every experience deepened our bond. We shared our pasts, our dreams, and the little things that made us laugh. With Ethan, I felt a sense of belonging that I had never experienced before. One rainy afternoon, we found ourselves cozied up in his living room, the sound of raindrops tapping against the window. As we shared stories and sipped wine, I felt a wave of emotion wash over me. With each passing day, my love for him grew stronger, and I knew I couldn't hide it any longer. "Ethan," I began, my heart racing, "I love you." The words hung in the air, a revelation that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. He turned to me, a soft smile spreading across his face. I love you too, Charlotte. In that moment, everything felt right. I was no longer afraid of our age difference. I was proud of the love we had built together. As our relationship deepened, we also faced challenges. There were whispers and sideways glances from colleagues, and moments of doubt crept in. But with each challenge, our love only grew stronger. We learned to communicate openly, navigating fears with honesty and understanding. One night, as we lay entwined in each other's arms, I reflected on how far we had come. I had entered his life in a vulnerable state, and he had shown me that love could heal even the deepest wounds. I felt liberated, ready to embrace whatever the future held. Ethan and I made a pact to support each other unconditionally, to cherish our moments together, and to face the world as partners. I realized that love, in all its forms, was worth every risk. The age gap no longer felt like a barrier, it was simply a part of our unique story. As I look back on this journey, I know that finding love in an unexpected place has transformed my life in ways I never imagined. It taught me resilience, vulnerability, and the beauty of embracing the unknown. I wouldn't trade a single moment of this experience for anything. And so, with my heart wide open, I step into a future filled with possibilities, hand in hand with the man who showed me what true love is. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope my story inspires you to embrace love, no matter where it may find you. Please share your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear from you.